Hello, and welcome back to Let's Replay Mystery Case Files Return to Ravenhearst. I'm MCFPapa, and this is part 2. And with our ladder, we can go up to the bird's nest, and apparently the raven was holding on to an eye. Not sure why, but it was. And then over here, can just smash through the window. And now, this window is just thin glass from a over 100-year-old house. Like, I'm honestly surprised it took 3 throws to actually break the window. Maybe the master detective is just weak. I had little choice but to use an old brick I found just to make my way into the house. Just when I thought no one would notice a broken window, I come to view a recently stirred fire in the living room. Who stoked the fire? I am certainly not alone in this place, be the other party living or otherwise. Someone has attached a bizarre creation to the door that bars my entrance to what, as I recall, is the kitchen. I have seen the likes of these strange devices before and can attest to their intricacy of design. And now we're in the parlor because there's this picture overhead which was found in the parlor, but this room looks nothing like the parlor did in the original Ravenhearst. I don't know why they changed it. And now get a load of this. There's light from the fire on the chair, and there's light flashing from behind this door. And then you can also turn on this light. This adds absolutely nothing story related. It's just a cool detail that you can turn on the light and swing this old chandelier too. With the crowbar, we can prop open the board to get a third eye. Wow. Now, I wouldn't call that a rope, I'd call that a noose. It certainly is. And maybe this is actually Emma still speaking. But how about this for a puzzle? You just pull the levers down as far as they go. And that's the puzzle. Wasn't that great? Wasn't that so hard to figure out? Yeah, that's my one complaint with this game is some of the puzzles are pretty simple, though some of them are very creative and fun. After unlocking the door to the kitchen, my nostrils are assaulted with the reek of aging provisions left about to rot. No point checking the food safety expiration in here, that's for sure. Amid the dust and debris resides an old stove that has been tightly secured. perhaps as insurance against preparing any delightfully putrid snacks. Most of the handles are missing. As I write this entry, I could have sworn I heard footsteps on the porch outside. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, that's so spooky. And the one hand cupboard that still has a handle has a handy pliers, and I don't know why you can continue to open and close the cupboard door, but you can if you want to. And who put a lock and chain on the stove? And haha, a Rachel Ray reference. I don't know what their Big Fish Studios deal was with referencing Rachel Ray. I don't know. Maybe she was super popular in their studio for some reason. And who put up the fly paper? Ooh, isn't that spooky? Someone must have been here. Forget being spooked by the fire being recently stoked or the person walking around outside, but the fact that someone hung up fly paper, now that's really scary. Though it's weird that you don't ever see the silhouette of the guy outside in this hidden object scene. It's only in the main kitchen location. And even though we visited the kitchen a ton of times in the original Ravenhearst, here it looks nothing like this kitchen. Maybe they just wanted to, like, reference the main events of the first game, but kind of ignore, like, the details of other locations. Like, for example, the greenhouse, or the shed, or the garage that we visited in the first game that never come back in this game, or Escape from Ravenhearst. And I know it's creepy that there's this guy walking around outside, but if you just stay on this screen long enough, he'll just constantly be walking back and forth, and then it becomes funny, like, why is the guy walking back and forth so much? Also, I guess this is presumably supposed to be Victor, but Victor is an old man and moves like an old man. So that's pretty weird. I uncovered a rather unusual figure etched into the side of a rotting cupboard in the kitchen. Hidden behind an old recipe is what looks to be some kind of birdman striking a decidedly awkward pose. Relevant information or supernatural graffiti. The reek of rotting food in the kitchen is almost unbearable. It's difficult enough to hold my nose and properly inspect the many cupboards without gagging. Just horrible. I don't know how the master detective drew the conclusion it's a Birdman when it just looks like a normal stick figure. Oh, and there's spooky footprints in the water there. Ooh. Who walked in those to cause the footprints? I don't know. But we can give him some cheese. And then give the good old cat a mouse. Now that's just a reused cat from the title screen of Madame Fate. Alright. So the solution is pretty simple. And unlike the one in Fate's Carnival, here the guy doesn't even able to bend the hands, it's just the arm pieces, making it quite a bit easier to deal with. It's interesting that they even have two separate sound effects for collecting items instead of just the same one over and over again. We go out here. I just love this like aesthetic of the misty, foggy, creepy outside here. It looks really nice. And there's a mysterious X on the floor, but the master detective doesn't make any note of it. Now look at this. Look at this, it's just a beautiful view. And we see an unfortunate victim of the sea, the water, a guest house built around the time of the main mansion, and a lighthouse in the distance. Like, this is just good foreshadowing that, because we eventually do visit these places. But not the lighthouse. And in Escape from Ravenhearst, like, the lighthouse seems to be moved a lot closer to the guest house, because that looks like quite a ways to travel to get to the lighthouse from the cottage, but you can. I don't know. I came upon a creepy old graveyard in the rear of the manor and searched diligently for clues. Noted here is reference to a strange inscription on one of the ancient headstones that jut from the ground near the cliffs. Something caught my eye in the shrubbery, but the overgrowth prevented closer inspection. I also noticed a small guest cottage that appears within close proximity to the Ravenhearst Manor estate. Steep, rocky stairs lead up to the cottage, but I have no idea how to get down there. Well, we'll find a way. Get a load of the squirrel peeking out. And the master detective made note of this inscription without actually us visiting this hidden object scene. Which is weird, because the other journal entry for the other inscription the journal page didn't update until we actually visited the front door. Oh, that's just the same horn as the one we found. But that's not a clown horn. Excuse me. The environmental sound effects are really good in this game too. Like hearing a wolf howl in the distance and hear lightning flash striking, well, thunder, hearing thunder and seeing lightning. Just a fantastically crafted game. And like my one gripe with Madame Fate was that it lacked a certain amount of polish, and like I feel like the developers knew that, because this game, like, they've took the time to really polish it so that it works perfectly. And then one of the graves is for Sparky, and Sparky also happens to be the name of the dog food in Escape from Ravenhearst. And then you just use the sun equals swirl and moon equals the 7 hint. Again though, not really much of a puzzle. But of course you need the centerpieces for it to work. But they actually do keep those things in there. Even if you leave and go back, it doesn't reset. Which is a nice detail, because you'd expect them to not have put in the effort to make sure it saves your choices, but it does. That's a well camouflaged peppermint stick, because you think, oh, it's just red stained glass like the stained glass here. I forget exactly, but I think there's something like 10 or 12 different music tracks they use for background stuff in this game. Like, there's quite a few of them. They even added in sound effects for rain hitting against the glass in this scene. well, that'll do it for this part. So, like and subscribe if you want. I'll see you next time when we work on opening the fireplace puzzle. And that's weird. They don't tell you where this key actually goes. They just say, oh, it's the cat key. Don't worry about it. Alright. Well, I'll see you in the next part.